up. Check the sound on this. All right, hey, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, B'Kakadosh. We want to give double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and say peace, mercy, and blessings to all the hopeful elect. The true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, which means He exists or He is to be. The true name of the Son is Yahweh Shai, which means He is the deliverer. The true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, which means He exists or He is to be. The true name of the Son is Yahweh Shai, which means He is to deliver. All right, and we are the Hebrew Israelites. There's 12 tribes that consist of our nation. Today, we're being called by bywords such as Black, Native American, Seminole Indian, Latin, Hispanic, but we're those people that make up the lost 12 tribes. All right, the self-proclaimed white man, Caucasian, European, they have a biblical nationality as well, which is Esau, Edom, Idumea, Mount Seir. All right, and according to Bible prophecy, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. Okay, and then when you read the scriptures and you read about Babylon the Great, that's actually America. Okay, we're in the final hours of this kingdom. We're on a major countdown, and what's happening is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is speeding up the time and shortening the days for His elect's sake, okay, bringing the prophecies to pass to deliver His people and destroy this kingdom. Okay, that's why you have the National Guard assembling all over the country. That's why the purchasing power of your dollar is slowly diminishing every day. Okay, that's why there's wars, rumors. That's why all these things are happening, because they're a sign of the second coming of the one you call Jesus Christ. All right, and you brothers got something? Get Matthew 24, start at 1. Actually, go to 2nd Esdras 8.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras.
Chapter 8.
Ezra 8, chapter 8, verse 1. And he answered me, saying, the Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come for few.
That's right. So the Most High have made this world for many people. Okay, and if you notice this, that's why it says in Psalms, this is the ungodly that prosper in this world, man. Because what type of people make it in this world? People who worship Satan, people who have no respect for the Heavenly Father, the Creator, okay? People who do all type of wickedness and abominable acts, somehow they're the ones on top in this world, all right? Because this is their world, okay? Can you get Job 9:24? The Most High gave this world to wicked people, because if you have a question, well, why do these things happen on the earth? Why there's people starving in Gaza? Okay, why are there homeless people all over America? Okay, it's because there's some wicked ass people that have dominion or control over the earth right now, and the Most High gave them this earth. Okay, so that we can be educated, right? So we can learn the difference between what's wicked rulers and righteous rulers, and also so we can appreciate the Most High and His laws. Because ultimately it comes down to the laws of the Bible are not being upheld in this society. Case in point, America's modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Which is why you can't leave your house without seeing studs, lesbians, homosexuals. You got to work with them and shit, you know?
The book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
So the Most High gave the earth to the wicked, all right, so that they can have a time period to rule. Okay?
He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
And this is what it means when it says He covered the faces of the judges thereof. When you think about Jesus, you think about this image. Now, if you go watch a movie about Jesus right now, the Son of God, you're gonna see a so-called white man. You're not gonna see a dark-skinned man. Okay, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna see a so-called Middle Eastern or an Arab. That's the image that they're putting out there. They're covering the faces of the true judges. The true judges are the Israelites. We have an entire book in the Bible called the Book of Judges. All right, Barak, judge, Samson, judge. Okay, King David, judge. That's what our people are. We're a nation of kings, priests, and judges. Okay, when you go into Genesis, the word there for gods is Elohim. It breaks down to powers, rulers, judges. Right?
Thereof. If not, where and who is he?
Right. So if this man is not the devil, right? He put himself up as God. Okay. If you look at your dollar bill, look at your money, you still have paper money because everything is going digital. You still have paper money. Whose face is on the dollar bill? See, whose face is all over the media? Whose face is everywhere? Who are the ones in the society that you cannot speak about? The itch people, right? Those are the ones that are in power. You know?
Precept.
Okay. Right.
This is Revelation 20, and I guess I'll start at 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven,
Beautiful.
having the key of the bottomless pit.
So this angel is talking about Yahweh Shai. All right, his name is not Jesus. The letter J is about 500 years old. The correct pronunciation is Yahweh Shai, which means he delivers. Okay, it's not Jesus, right?
And a great chain in his hand.
So that key, I'll read it from the top again.
Revelation 20 and 3,
Oh, 1.
20 and 1, Salakia. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand.
So that great chain represents slavery or captivity. Because what do you do with a chain? You chain somebody up to do what? Imprison them. You know, put you in captivity, put you in slavery. All right, and the bottomless pit symbolizes Europe. Okay, because it's out of Europe, that place is not built like other places. When you read about the Holy Land, it says it's a what? It's a land flowing with milk and honey. Europe is not like that. They don't have the natural resources, minerals, which is why, 1492. What did they come over here for? They came over here for gold, tobacco, cotton, all these different goods, and they were shipped back to Europe. It was shipped back to the old world. So that place is like a bottomless pit.
Because Esau was almost dying out. He almost got extinct.
Well, that was part of the whole quest for manifest destiny, to seek out new lands, because Europe couldn't sustain them, because when you look at the weather over there, it's always cloudy and rainy. So they don't have a ecosystem to really grow crops like that when you got a lack of sun.
I think they said they was only able to grow, I think, like potatoes. That's why they was a lot of like
What the
carrots.
famous,
They couldn't really. That's the only thing they could produce over there was like something like carrots, and potatoes, other stuff they couldn't. And plus, he had the plague, he was sick, dying off of measles and all that stuff. That's why when they came over here, none of that shit, or none of that stuff that we got now wasn't over here when they came over here. You know what I'm saying? They brought rats and stuff over here. There's no rats over here. Shit, roaches, all the things, bed bugs, all that. They brought shit on that Mayfield. Syphilis.
Verse 2, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
So that's talking about Esau, Edom, the wicked. We just read it in Job 9:20-24, how the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. But it's telling you right here, his ass was bound. The Most High bound him. In that 1,000-year period, it's talking about what we call the medieval times, or the dark ages. So when you watch these shows on Netflix, like you have a show called The Last Kingdom, which is about King Kings, 96 to about 1100, all Israelites, all black men. When you watch these shows about the Vikings, okay, those were men of color. Okay, we know that because the prophecy says that during this time Esau would be bound. He got put up in the Caucasus Mountains.
Yep.
Right?
And that was really a time for Jake to rule Europe. That was where you get your King Arthurs and your Robin Hoods and your what's that? The brother that authorized the King James.
Yep, King James.
There's also queenships too. Europe actually was named after a black queen, Europa. So yeah, the coats of arms get a lot of stuff that's still over there that shows a remnant of when Jake was in rulership over there. Yep. And it says the point, verse 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him.
Right, so that seal represents captivity. The bottomless pit is Europe. And also the seal represents the curse, because if you seal something, and this is the Most High who's sealing it, nobody can take that seal off. So during that whole 1,000-year period, there's nothing they could do. That's another clue that we know that Jacob was ruling, man. Going back to Job, he said he covered the faces. So it's called what? Whitewashing. So they're still doing that to this day. That's right, iconoclasm, which means what? The destruction of images. You know? That's where you get
example.
That's where you get this from.
Cheshire.
You know? That's where you get this from. This is the devil, man.
Caesar salad.
You remember that video of Snoop Dogg, Murder Was the Case? He pretty much is explaining how he sold his soul. And he showed the devil and he showed the Jesus. So it's the same man. If you go back and check that video, it's spiritual.
I remember that. Yeah.
You know, it's showing you right there that Caesar's the devil.
What's the name? It was called Devil Was the Case. Murder Was the Case.
Murder Was the Case. So
yeah.
you mean when he morphed
Yeah.
and Satan presented himself, they showed Caesarea? Oh, I gotta go back and watch it now. I remember the video, but not to that degree. That's crazy.
Yep, it's showing you right there that this is the devil.
Wow. And it says that he should deceive the nations no more.
That's his job. His job is to be the devil. You know what I'm saying? The money system right now. Real money is silver and gold, land, not a fucking greenback. That's not real money.
The diamond district. Diamond.
You know
what I'm
saying? Natural stones, you know, ruby stuff like that. That's actual wealth. That's actually things you can barter with. This man got us working 60 hours a week for a greenback that's not worth shit.
And that's part of his riches too, the labor force. Having people readily available to do his bidding. See? And it says, till the 1,000 years, the point, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled.
So from about, let's say about 325 AD, which you had Israelites that were ruling much earlier than that. All right, started with the 5 good emperors of Rome. So you had Trajan, you had Hadrian, you had Marcus Aurelius, you had Antigonus Pyre, the 5 good emperors of Rome. If you look at that up, man. Okay, so our people were ruling in Rome for a long time. You know, but you can start the clock from 325 AD until 1300s. He started to come out and get into power, marrying the royal families. Then by 1492, he's coming his red ass over here. You can watch that movie Apocalypto. That's still a fire ass movie. A lot of spiritual stuff in that movie, man.
That's why the scripture in Apocalypse said don't set them by you, because when we was in power, when we was the Moors, we put them in our military, we put them in certain powers, and they was able to, sneak their way in and divide us and conquer us. Because Jake was fighting amongst themselves. So they said, this is the time right now to get these niggas, you know what I'm saying? They look at them, they fight amongst each other,
that's all the niggas do. If you go back to the movie, what's his name, King Robert of Scotland? What's the name of the movie? Braveheart. You had William Wallace, he was a Scot, but he was beefing with the King of England. Now those are all Israelites, but they were beefing with each other. So what the Lord say, people divided, kingdom divided shall not stand. So by then it was easy for Esau to come in, because we was already divided. Same thing with the northern kingdom over here. You watch Apocalypto, the tribes were divided, taking one another, sacrificing one another. It was easy for Esau to come in, you know?
Well, I just put it in the chat too. I stumbled on this video going into the history of the Ku Klux Klan, the KKK, and it actually was started by Scots in Tennessee. They actually were the ones that, you know what I'm saying? So basically it was Jake, if you will, that started their own oppression on, you know, their own people, if you will. You know what I mean? If a lot of the Scottish and the Irish, you know, go back to black people. You know what I'm saying? So that's that equal eye. So unbeknownst to them, they was under the guise of being white.
If you watch that movie Sinners, which we went to the movies and see, what was that movie showing? It's showing you that the guy, he was Irish.
Yeah, Irish.
You know, but you have something called what? Black Irish. You know, and he pretty much told him, like, look, the Klan, you might as well come be with me, because the Klan gonna come in, they're gonna kill you niggas anyway.
Yeah, their plan was never to let you be free. You know what I'm saying? So,
own something. It said you shall go to the enemy for the one of all things. So Jake just wanted to buy a juke joint if you will. Esau won't let you have that.
Right.
Paul Mooney made a joke. He said, damn, you know, we can't have a headache.
Right.
It's true. Esau don't want you to have nothing, man.
And then fast forward to modern times, who's that? Charles Schwab said you will own nothing and be happy, right?
That's always been the spirit.
You know?
Back to that, bro.
And that's the point. Oh, let me finish. This is the point here. And after that, he must be loosed a little season.
So right now we're in this low season, and what's he doing? Deceiving, stealing, killing. Get John 10 real quick. You know, passing out diseases. He has a fucking he actually has an office or a laboratory, if you will, called what? The Center for Disease Control. So what do you think they're doing?
That's right down the street, right there. We used to teach across in front of it.
So what the hell you think they're doing? If you watch movies like Resident Evil, if y'all remember the first one, what happened? He took that ball, broke that bitch, threw it in the office. You know? Next thing you know, people started eating one another, man. We bring this out, this some information. This is a book called Nature Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers, page 82. It says another important fact. There is good reason to believe that families with names as Negro, Moor, which the word Moor just means black, and their derivatives, but we do not have blacks in their coats of arms. That's because Esau is doing this whitewashing shit, colonizing, you know, had Negro ancestors. Also, still another proof of the presence of early Negroes in England is that the Moorish dance, English national dance, is of African origin. So there they go. You know, the information is out there. You just gotta dig. You know, it says it might have been brought over by the Moors, William the Conqueror in 1066. Sir John Hawkins, these were all Israelites. You got another term called swarthy, which that means like black, dusky. You know, if you read these different terms, it's talking about people that look like us. You know? An earlier authority on music says it is disputable that this dance was the invention of the Moor. You know, Jake's the only one that got the spirit to have what? Song and dance. You know? So, even to this day, the song and dance that Jake do, Esau started doing.
What's that? I think it's that famous Irish dance style, clogging. It was a black female Jake, and she actually started to like go viral, trending on you know, the different platforms, TikTok, YouTube, and the Irish actually started, just like any other sport, they start hating. She don't look right. This always get playing it's something, but the girl bad. She was fucking that clock, that shit they be jumping around.
Yeah.
But she was nice with it though. They was hating, you know.
Just like there's some new Sabrina Williams on tennis, who was busting this Edomite chick ass, and the Edomite chick started getting mad, going on in her face, calling her nigger, racial slurs at her.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So Esau a sore loser, man. They don't like the losers.
This page 72, it says the Negro as a Moor. Moor, the race as it occurs in European heraldry, always means Negro. Moor's head says berry is the heraldic term for the head of a black or Negro man. Abbott says Moor's head, the head of a Negro. Edmondson says similarly, and this definition is etymologically correct. The Greeks, as was said, used moros to mean black or dark, and the Romans used it for Negroes. So the Romans called us Moors. Moors,
Random.
That's going with Acts 13:1.
Yep, we'll get that.
Yep.
It says, woolly hair like a Moor, says Marshall, to Claudian Moors, Ethiopians, and the Grecians who dwell beside the waters of Gur. Most famous of the rivers of Ethiopia that overflows its banks as if it had been another Nile. The Gur referred to here is Niger or Niger. See, Niger. You talking about that river over there. So William Smith says the Moor were known in the Alexandrian dialect as blacks, and that the Moors must not be considered a different race from the Numidians, because those are Israelites. Now people were scattered everywhere. That's why Acts 8 talks about what? The Ethiopian eunuch. You know? You never see Esau make movies about that. I wonder why. Because they would have to tell you that that's a man of color.
You know what it is? No, they did. Well, it was in the comedy form. Remember, what's the dude name that made, because matter of fact, Richard Pryor was in the movie. And what's the dude name? He a comedian. He made Spaceballs. Forgot his name.
What was the movie about?
It was like a comedy / movie, but it was like ancient times. And there was a dude that was he played like a Babylonian type of, I forgot his name. It was Mel something.
Mel Gibson?
Nah. But anyway, they had an Ethiopian eunuch there in the video, and he had like he was cut off, and his servants had like chastity belts on him. But it was in a comedic comedy form though.
Yeah.
It'll come back to me. I forgot the name of the movie. It came out back in the like early '80s and stuff. But Richard Pryor was in that movie, and they had the Ethiopian eunuch in it. My aunt was telling me like that's biblical.
That's
Jake, yup. Because they kept him, cut off because he wouldn't sleep with the women, all his daughters and his servants. Yeah, so they kind of did it, but they did it in a comedy form. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. A lot of their movies that they just try to tell us that we are the people.
In our face, they hide it.
Yeah, they hide it, but they put it in like in joking.
Yeah.
Even with
Good times.
Yep.
Where he showed the picture of what? Of the picture of Caesar, but then when they put up Yahweh Shai, the mom had a problem with it.
Yep.
But then what did he say?
I forget his name, but he brought the Bible out. He went right to the scripture.
Mel Brooks, that was his
Mel
name.
Brooks.
Mel Brooks, because he do a lot of like Airplane and all that. So he that was his movie. You know what I'm saying?
What's the tall brother name? The good time.
JJ.
He said if ever people is lost, then we are it.
Yeah, they knew.
So Esau be putting it in your face all day, every day, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's to be made a mockery, a laughing stock.
Yeah, that's what they do. They'll put truth in it, but they are mockers. At the same time, throw you off.
Yeah. Basically, to make it into a joking form like that ain't real. That'll never happen. That's a joke.
That shit, the Green Pastures. They made that whole movie a comedy movie.
Yeah, that's spirit. I was just thinking about that movie too. You know what I'm saying? Yep. The book of Acts chapter 13 verse 1. Now there were in the churches that was at Antioch certain prophets, teachers.
So when you read the book of Acts, one thing you'll notice that there were churches of these Israelites all over the world. That's because our people are scattered. You holding something? Drop that. That's good. Actually,
This is the book of John, chapter 10, verse 16. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold.
Right, so this is Yahweh talking to the Jews, okay, the southern kingdom. Because during this time, the Romans were oppressing our people, taxation, things of that nature. But where's the northern kingdom? 10 tribes, they were over here in the New World, the islands, America. So the Lord told them, I have other sheep that are not of this fold. That's because that's another scripture of what scattering. The diaspora, however you want to say it. know, so that ties in. Now people we've been scattered all over. You know, it's the reason why the Lord gave His men power of the speaking in tongues. Well, that simply means speaking to another nation to go into all nations to our lost sheep. Read that one more time.
Wasn't it the 7 churches in Asia Minor?
There you go.
So they had to go to those different European or Asian countries to go to the Gentiles.
Yep.
Our people.
And guess what? A lot of those places already had synagogues there.
Right.
Which is what? Pretty much a school where they teach you the law. The Jews,
Right.
you know,
Jews.
our people
Congregation.
Our people went up there and tell them like, no, this is Yahushua's command. Right? The law ain't gonna save you.
This is John 10 and verse 16. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold, them also I must bring.
Go to Acts 2. When you really think about our history, man, it's beautiful. Our people are scattered all over the world. Right now, you got our people scattered in India. Mm-hmm. They're scattered in China, Japan, different parts of Korea, right? Russia, right?
With Israel now. Saudi Arabia,
Egypt, Ethiopia. All this is like this is over. I believe it's over what 50 countries in Africa. Our people are all over Africa, man. You know?
This is the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 1. And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place.
So the day of Pentecost means what? The 50th day. So this was the 50th day after the Passover, after they saw Yahushua get taken up. What did the Lord say? He said, tarry you in Jerusalem till you get endued with power from on high. And this is the power that came, right?
Right. Verse 2. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind.
That's a spirit. Spirit is like the wind. Yep.
And it filled all the house. Excuse me. The house. Wow. Where they were sitting. Verse 3. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as a fire.
Translation. They were given the power to speak many languages. Okay? Because when you go to Genesis 10, what happened? All the nations, matter of fact, if you want to go into that, that's some good history. You got something?
Yeah, I was going to finish.
Okay, finish that, then we'll get that in Genesis 10.
Yeah. Okay. The book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, and Barnabas and Simeon that was called Nigger.
See, they called them what? They called them nigger. You know, so they say there's nothing new. When the scripture says that there's nothing new under the sun, it means just that. You know, they've been calling us nigger, black. You know, that's where you get the word moros, negro. All right, Israelite. Replace that with Israelite. You know, and all of our people are not going to be black either. We just broke it down. What the diaspora. So our people gonna come out of all nations, having many different colors, man. Looking like all the other nations. You know, if you look at go to TikTok and look at Gary Omer. That dude's an Israelite, man. That dude's funny as hell. Look at Theo Bob. He's actually Nicaraguan, which I believe that's Naphtali. So he's actually, when he's looking at him, you would think, oh, this is just a white dude. That's an Israelite. That it?
So bland as a bitch.
Yeah, and it's told you
flavor.
all the dances and music of Europe and England, our people started that. You know?
Acts, John.
Acts 2.
All right. Verse 3. Continuing on to verse 3. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as a fire, and it sat upon each of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Spirit.
Right, they were Kakodash, man. You know?
And began to speak with other tongues.
Meaning what? They wasn't doing that bullshit that you see in the church. You know, they were speaking a whole nother language. Now we could go to the
Genesis 10?
Yep.
And what?
Just start from there.
All right, the book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 1. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. and unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Media, and Javan.
So Esau got up in Japheth's land, right? So this is why today a lot of people would think, no, Esau, the white man is Japheth. He's not Japheth. He just took over that land because his blessing is to do what? To live by the sword.
And you go up and go back to the tomb of lepers, it showed Japheth and Edom at the table sitting there. You know what I'm saying? That's called the tomb of lepers. You know what I'm saying?
Ira, you ain't have to rap that like that either. You sound like KRS-One. That ain't Israelite like, brother. But now you remember he made a song about Shem.
Shem, yep.
You know what I mean? It's a very popular song.
Talking about why is that?
Is it called, that's the title of
it?
Yeah, but that's a popular song amongst the hip hop community, man.
Yep. You know it's crazy. But that dude bugged out too, KRS-One, because he broke down the whole about the Israelites and Ham is different, and then he's still in the Kemet, man. He's confused. That's Ecclesiastes 12 and 12. Yeah. Hey, he's confused. You know,
he's not even a Southern. He's the Reubenite, man, or Gad.
He's Benjamin.
Well, you know, that's how I mean. The Lord, blinding them to the point where, a lot of guys, they want to take bits and pieces and make their own thing. You know what I'm saying? They'll acknowledge a certain truth from a so-called religion or belief system, and then they foundation is still Egypt. Something about Africa these niggas can't get over. You know what I'm saying? Something about that good old slavery they can't get over.
That goes back to what? They go back to 85. Because at one point before that, people was already relating themselves to the people of the Bible. I remember that. I went to school with architects, and they knew that they was Israelites. They knew that this book. They knew that the white man, the Heavenly Father, didn't like it. This was back then. You know what I'm saying? And then what? 84, 85 came around that time, and then they so-called found relics or bones of African. Oh, these are the same people that's in, which is true, but they was trying to connect them with Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Everybody,
because that was the white man gave us. He gave us Africa, King Tut. You guys come from, you know what I'm saying? And they really didn't want to give black people that, because how about they shot off the noses?
And that's
a lot of those.
What's that other dude? He a Hamite dude, but who's that other dude that all the Egypt Kemet dudes look up to? Dr. Ben. Yeah, Doctor. That's when then they set Dr. Ben up to further deceive the black people about them being from Africa, Egypt. That's when that Egypt title, all that. I mean, it started way before that, but that's where that generation that I came up on, they had to reprogram us to think that was Africans, because people was already on one before that. There's people, trust me, there's people back in the 80s that when I was growing up, knew that it was the people of the book.
And also, what's his name? Who gave us African American? Was that Jesse Jackson?
Jesse Jackson. That came around that time.
Changing our nationality.
Because we had so many, we was the guy of Negro, and we were colored, Negro, Hebrew,
black. Well, actually, it was found in an old church. I don't know if it was a slave church or black church, but they had Hebrew names carved in the pew, on the wood pews. They had Hebrew names
I heard about
that. So we knew, our people that, like, the first batch of people came over here knew who we were, but over time, like roots show you, it was beat out of us. It says, the scripture says, he will oppress a man, even his heritage. A man in his house, even his heritage.
Because like around the 80s, they would start, that was the threat of us awakening around that time. It was like, we got to hurry up and put these niggas back to sleep.
Well, it was the Lord ultimately doing. It wasn't time yet.
It wasn't time.
Magog.
Because that's Russia. If you look at the landmass today, Magog, that's the Russians.
And Mediah, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tyrus, and the son of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Raphath.
Those are the Ish people. They were up in that land. That's why they call them what? Ashkenazi Jews. That's why they call them Ashkenazi Jews.
That's why you got those Yayas keep saying that they Japheth, they're not Edomites. You know what I'm saying? They Japheth because they don't understand, how it is. Like when Esau takes take over the land, they take over the people, culture, and their identity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You
It
know?
says they name the lands after their own self.
So they become the people.
Yeah.
So that makes people who don't got understanding, they'll say that, well, they Japheth. I was like, no, they're not
Well,
Japheth.
the Horites, the whole Horites, Esau, that was Ham, and they was living out of the cave, but Esau took over their cave.
It's crazy, man.
He's like the ultimate. He's like the ultimate culture vulture.
Vulture, yeah.
He does this.
Yup.
You know, he'll whitewash your shit and say this is us, but he putting on that shit.
I remember a few years ago, they were saying they was going to make another Michael Jackson movie, use a white dude, either white dude to play Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And on Martin Luther King. They was going to use, I think it was Matthew McConaughey or somebody to play on Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Played, and Harriet Tubman, Julia Roberts. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yo, and I read the article, I said, yo, these motherfuckers is tripping.
Yeah, I was watching Paul Mooney. That's one of my top comedians. He's making jokes about that. Everything he said, guess who's gonna play Harry Tubman?
Yep.
He said Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
You know, but he's right though, because that's what Hollywood do, man. That's what the hell they do.
He was using it jokingly. I'm sorry.
You wanna hold that? Yeah, that's a good point. But I believe it's Maccabees 3 and 31. They said they sought to paint the likeness.
Because you can't tell me they ain't Esau. They still got that spirit on them to do that. To erase trying to erase history.
Yeah.
If they let them go farther enough, they'll damn well get, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, further in time.
Yeah.
By the course of time.
If we was to stay here, man, Kobe Bryant would be white.
Right?
You know, we have to tell our kids, our grandkids, like, no, Kobe Bryant wasn't no damn white man.
Shit, we'll be erased. Shit, it won't be no of us.
Definitely won't be no us, because right now what they're doing, they putting, humans could have, robots could like hold infants and shit, man. So
Right. But that goes also to the scripture, it said that's why the Lord is shortening the time, because there shall be no flesh left.
Going back to what you brought out, he was loose to deceive.
Yeah.
Great deceiver, man.
Yeah. So it won't be no more black history, if you will. But it'll be all Esau. You know? So this is First Maccabees 3, chapter 3 and 1.
No. 31.
31? 3 and 31? 3 and 31.
Might be 48. It's 48.
This is First Maccabees 3 and 48. And laid open the book of the law,
which is the Bible. So they went into the Bible. They had this idea to deceive people that we're gonna open the Bible. Go ahead.
Right. Wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their image.
So they've been trying to do this going back to the Greeks. You know?
Right.
Yep.
49. They brought also the priest's garments, and the first fruits, and the tribes, and the tithes, and the Nazarites. They stirred up who had accomplished their days.
They went into the scripture, man, to do what? Put up their images. That's part of their deception.
In verse 3, the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Raphath, and Togarmah. Verse 4, the sons of Javan, Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dedom. By these were the eyes of the Gentiles divided.
Right, that was Japheth land up there. Europe, or would you say like Italy, Turkey, because Mount Ararat is up there in Turkey. But it's rumored that they found remnants of the ark that landed on Mount Ararat. You know what I'm saying? So they had to come down there. Jim had to come in his land, which is the Levant region. They had spread out going to Africa. But then Japheth kind of just spread up there in Turkey. Different parts of Europe.
Yeah, because they were pushed out. They was forced out. That's what Esau do. He'll take over the land. It's like they trying to do the Gaza Strip. They're taking more and more square footage. you know, miles of land.
Yep. The eyes of the Gentiles divided in their land, every one after his tongue, after their families in their nations.
See what? Everyone after his tongue. And that's how the Lord did it. You know, he separated. He separated the people. And during this time, the language weren't separated. You know, the language got separated after the Tower of Babel, which we're going to go into. You see? So that's when we ask, you gotta link it back to the root, Genesis. Because during this time when they came off the ship, Ham wasn't speaking that African shit.
Right.
You didn't have Shem speaking Hebrew. You didn't have Japheth speaking Spanish.
Right.
They were speaking the same tongue or dialect.
Well, it's funny you said that. The same Ku Klux Klan video I was mentioning earlier, back in the, I think it was like in the 1940s, somewhere in there. But the head dragon, he actually brought out Genesis 11, talking about the Tower of Babel. He was like, I don't hate the black man. He said God made him black. He made us white. You can find that in Genesis 11.
A lot of them are Jakes too.
They just don't know. Yeah.
But even like you were saying, the evil eye, you know, that's actually a curse.
Yeah.
So them growing up with that white skin around other Edomites that really hate us, that hatred on them, that shit's like a time
rubs off. Yeah.
That even goes back to the 10, 11 years ago, 12 years ago, one of the Grand Dragons of the you found out he was.
What was that? Jerry Springer? Or Phil Donahue?
Nah.
It was one of them shows.
It was on the 60. It was. I think it was on the 60 Minutes. On that, but
yeah, I saw one on one of them shows too.
Oh, okay.
Probably talking about something.
I'm talking about something else.
Yeah.
This was when I was with UIC at the time.
Yeah.
And it was an old dude. He found out he had African American ancestry. He was on his father's side. He was black, but he was like the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
But Dave Chappelle put that out. I remember when I was
about to say that. Yeah.
He's the Grandmaster. He's black.
That's what I was. Who's Bigsley or something?
Yeah. He played the
business.
He took his hood off.
Yeah.
They fucking head started exploding.
They was looking at him like, They're like, oh, hold on. Like, hurry up, gotta go.
Right.
These niggers. You know what I'm saying?
That's true though. Right. Nobody hates Jake more than Jake. You can tell. Look how people treat each other, man.
The dude was like probably like 70 years old, but I could tell he was hurt though.
Yeah.
They say he divorced his wife because she was a nigga like
He found out he was black. He had to step down.
Well, because they said it don't matter. They said one drop of Negro blood taints you, like, you know what I'm saying? You're no longer pure Aryan.
Well, that's bullshit because the scripture says that he sowed tares among the wheat. You know what I mean? So he's so up and ripping the shit out of our woman. You know?
Even when they say that Aryan shit, they're not even Aryan.
That goes back to Elon.
Yep.
Back at Egypt.
Yep.
That was the ice cream truck.
Nah, it's Eastman, big musicians.
Verse 6, the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, the Egyptian Put, and Canaan.
Yeah, when you read about Egypt, their family name is Montezariel. Mizraim. Those are the Egyptians. You know, when you read it, Ham was like the first family that started ruling. But they were into what? They were into worshiping Satan. A lot of the rituals and stuff that they do today, it goes back to Ham worship us. Sacrifice and all that. That's why the Lord set them up to be slaughtered like Joshua. What were they doing? They were doing demonic worship. He saw they was over there because he did take a Egypt. As the Greeks, Alexander the Great. That's why you have Alexandria, Egypt. So they did take over Egypt, but what were they doing? Worshiping their gods, calling themselves the pharaohs. And a lot of that shit, they just turned it to Roman names. The different names that they got for their gods. It all comes back from Mystery Babylon. Tower of Babel,
on the Kush, Sheba.
That's Ethiopia. And today they know that they're Kush. So it's nations right now that they know their biblical family names. You know?
And Havilah, and Sabta, and Ramah, and Sepcha. The sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush beget Nimrod. He beget the mighty one in the earth.
Because Nimrod was like a great conqueror. He was a great warrior. You know? He was kind of like the Alexander of his time. Because if you look at a map, I wish I had that, you know. But if you look at the hand of Shem, that's actually that's a huge ass land. But where Nimrod conquered, he conquered the land of Shem. He was way up there. And now it's called what? The cradle of life, you know? Up in there in Mesopotamia between the Euphrates and the Tigris. That's Shem. That's not happening. So how do you get up there? War and conquest. That's what he did. And he began to unite. He ruled that whole shit. He had different kingdoms and cities along all those rivers. And he began to draw in all nations to do what? A one world government. That's the same thing Esau doing now with America.
I think he took over some existing cities and he built like 3 or 5 of them, didn't he, with his own?
Yep.
So yeah, so you beget kingdoms, you know, providences too. Once you become power.
They call them hills.
Yeah,
like hills, like smaller cities.
Yeah.
So that dude was a great man. Yeah. This was a so-called black man, Hamite. You know.
He was the almighty hunter before the Lord, wherefore it said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord, and the beginning of his kingdom was Babylon, and
which I believe modern day Babel was what? Iraq. So if you look at the land of Iraq, that's ancient Babel. And Ham was ruling that. It wasn't Ishmael or Elam. It was Ham.
And Iraq, and Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. Out of the land went forth Ashur, and built Nineveh.
See, Asher. That's the sons of Shem. But Ham took over that at this time. Ham was ruling that. It's Nineveh. That's where the Lord sent Jonah to prophesy against Nineveh. You know.
And the city of Rehoboth, and Calah, and Rasin, between Nineveh and Calah, and the same is great cities.
Yep, to this day, Nineveh is a great city. All those different kingdoms over there that are amongst the Tigris and the Euphrates, they're great cities to this day. You know?
And Mazraim beget Ludim, and Anamim.
Yeah, but I believe that's where you get the Anaki from. Because those tall ass giant Hamites. You know?
Labim, and Naphtuhim, the Pathrim, and
because those are not the giants. Because this is after the flood. The giants are the sons of God. You know, but remember, these sons were in the ship together. So the story of the flood, they passed down to their children. They got passed down to their children. You know, so they knew about the sons of God too.
Right.
You know?
So you think that's the lions may have descended from the Anunnaki?
No,
to all the Philistines?
No.
Is that African people?
Well, he was a Philistine, Canaanite, but he didn't come from there. He was just, the Mosai just gave him that stature.
Okay.
Because when it says giant from Genesis 6, it don't mean that they were actually like that big. It just means that there was a man of renown.
Okay.
Like you look at Tyson, you would say he's a giant in the boxing. Kobe is a giant in the basketball world.
Yeah.
You know, but when it says that Goliath was a giant, he was actually a very big guy.
Yeah.
Like maybe like 10 feet tall.
Yeah, Goliath himself, yeah.
Very muscular, but he didn't come from the sons of God because he was a heathen.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't come from that lineage. Those actually came from the sons of Seth from Genesis 5. You know.
Well, you know what I mean, like far as like the original Egyptians was dark skinned, like tall.
Just
that,
like you know,
that enslaved us, the Hebrews.
You know, like
taller.
You know, like Manute, right?
Yeah, Manute.
That's
the
Sudanese.
Sudanese.
Those are the
Sudanese.
Sudanese and Wachish is up there.
believe so. Yep.
The motherfuckers that be jumping and shit.
Yep, with the necks.
Yeah, long ass necks.
That was them worshiping Satan. That's why they got their power. Well, Jake built it, but they knew about the power that you could get from it.
And Mazraim beget Ludum, and Anamim, and Luhabim, and Naphtuhim, and Pathrusim, and Casluhim, out of whom came Philistine.
See, the Philistines, man, and they got in the land of Canaan, which that's the land that the Lord gave to Abraham. Because the Lord told Abraham, look, leave your people and go over here. And Abraham went all the way to Egypt. So he left from, I forget where he was at exactly.
Plain of Jordan.
He was like on the other side of the river. That's why they call him Hebrew, because it means beyond the river. Where would he come from? But the Lord told him to leave that land and go over there.
You think it was
Eastward.
what?
Chaldea.
Chaldean. I was about to say that.
He was in the land of Chaldea. He left from over there. He went all the way to Egypt. He began to teach those Egyptians things. And then those Hamites were fucking wicked, man. They were some nasty people, for real. Because when you go to Lot's story, when Lot saw Sodom and Gomorrah, that was a beautiful land. He didn't just want to go there for no reason. He said, okay, that land is nice, it's beautiful, birds are chirping, trees, a lot of fruit growing. And when he got there, he began to be a great man. He began to be a great man. That's why it says Lot sat at the gate. When you go into that, it means he was in a position of authority, just like all our people were. Like I believe Daniel was like next to the president in Babylon. Joseph was the second commander in Egypt. So our people always had high positions in these kingdoms. But when Lot went to Sodom and Gomorrah, he began to see all that shit that they were doing.
The neighboring cities.
And the neighboring cities. And then before that, he got taken captive, and Abraham had the Most High put the spirit on Abraham in the 300s.
His nephew.
Because Abraham was a warrior, which all the men in the scriptures were warriors. He had to go to war to get his nephew back. You know? Beautiful story. But yeah, Sodom was really America. It is a beautiful land, but it's not because of what Esau was doing to it. But think about before he got here. How there's still some parts that you see like that. That's a nice sight. You know, but Sodom and Gomorrah, that was a very beautiful land. And just what they were doing there, the Lord messed it up. It's very nasty stuff because it says men, children from all ages surrounded his house to have sex with the angels. So they were into pedophilia, homosexuality, bestiality, lesbianism.
Yeah, they said bring them out so we can know them. What the fuck you mean? You know what I'm saying? We know what you mean, but that's crazy.
Right, you got a woman.
Well, yeah, because he offered his daughters to him, but it was like, nah.
We don't like that.
They had a serious demon on them.
No, super
They
demons.
wanted some bussy.
Ham,
Excuse me.
Ham is wicked, Lord. It was the first Sodomites, the first Satan worshippers.
Right.
Ham looked at Noah's nakedness.
Right. Yeah.
The motherfuckers were wicked. They made war. They was all up in the land of Shem. You know?
Man.
Jack was just up there chilling. You know?
And Caphturim and Canaan beget Sidon, his firstborn Heth.
Yeah, Sudan, was I believe that's Joel 3, right? You know?
And the Jebusites and the Amorites.
And those are the tribes, those are the families that we had to kick out of our land. We made the book of Joshua and Judges.
And the Girgasites, and the Hevites, and the Arakites, and the Sinites, and the Avidites, and the Gemarites, and the Haphanites. And after there were families of the Canaanites spread abroad.
Yep, spread abroad where? In the land of Shem. Now, I mean, the Lord put them there, but the Lord put them there so that we can take over them. Because really, that was given unto us. You know?
And the borders of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as the comest of Gerar unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah, and Adamah, and Zabam.
So when you go down that far, that's actually where Ham was supposed to be at. That was the land that was given to him. You know?
even unto Lashah. These are the sons of Ham, after their families, after their tongues.
We don't come from Ham. When you look at the Compact Bible's dictionary, it says Ham, the progenitor of the dark race, but not the Negro. It makes a specific distinction. Not the Negro. Well, who are the Negroes? The Negroes are associated with slavery in America. Jim Crow, Ku Klux Klan. These Hamites, they didn't go through that. When I was in high school, the Hamites didn't live in the hood. I went to school with them. Some of them played basketball. They weren't as good as Jake. They ain't lived in the hood. They had both parents. They weren't under the curses.
Right.
They had their mom and dad in the house. And another thing, they didn't fuck with us like that either.
Yeah. They didn't socialize with Jake. They knew they was different. Whether it was a language or cultural barrier, we knew like that whole, you know what I'm saying, back to Africa, motherland. They didn't look at us like that. They didn't look at us as, they called us a kata, cotton pickers. You know what I'm saying?
I don't work with some Hamites. They even told us, one Hamite told me in my face, he said, we ain't the same people, you ain't my people. We come from a special tribe. That's what he told me.
Yeah.
He knew that. You know what I'm saying? But you can't tell a Negro today, they swear down at they African. You're not those people.
When we were in Egypt, that was a hard, bitter bondage.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're in modern day Egypt. That wasn't a good time for us. Now you might have some sellouts that were doing a little well. That's why niggas wanted to go back. But why would you want to stay in Egypt when the Lord giving us our own kingdom? You know? And our land is way better. Our land is a land, like we said earlier, flowing with milk and honey. Yeah. Meaning it's plenteous. You know, Egypt ain't messing with our land.
Well, that comes with being a lost people. You're looking for something. You're looking to be found, but it wasn't time. So you had to have all these other religions come first, because what the Lord said, the last shall be first. And he always saved what? The best for last. So
that's why he said, I said, we let all these other fashions and civil rights fashions come first, and the rebels, like people that was fighting for our cause. But he said, I say the apostles for last. That's how you know it's the apostle great Muslim. Because they ain't a coincidence they call themselves the apostles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And they're the ones that are still out teaching. Like a lot of these Israelites that are supposed to be the heads, they're not out teaching. Like if you had a king army in the ancient world, like King David, he was the king, but he was actually out there with his men on the battlefield fighting. That's how the kings did back then.
Yeah, you went out on your ship. You know what I'm saying?
Like you have the commander general, but he's not even on the front line with people.
You're not even teaching.
What was that movie? We bring it up all the time, with the one with Brad Pitt, and he said, because he was mocking the king, he was like, imagine the king acting his own battle.
Troy,
Yeah.
That version of Troy was dope.
Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah, I ain't gonna front.
That was a good role.
The one they got on Netflix, I don't really like. They made him look like he gay.
Well, it's low budget.
I ain't like that.
They had Brad Pitt prices.
Crazy,
You know what I'm saying? But he was good in that role, man, when he took down that giant.
Yeah, he was doing them moves like he was just he
caught him in the neck.
That was like David and Goliath.
What they call them swords, the Damascus swords.
Yeah,
the little short, stuffy swords.
I heard that wasn't really actual. I heard that was so.
That was like it's a
story.
Like mythology.
Troy, could be. Yeah.
It wasn't the actual guy.
Yeah.
Now you did have the mighty men of David that were doing greater things than that. You know, David is mighty man. That's why Spartacus, you know, like he was one of the most successful, greatest gladiator and slave revolt in history.
Right.
And in our time, you could think about like a Nat Turner. He was like the Nat Turner of his time, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, but the Lord didn't allow him to overthrow Rome, because the Lord set Rome up to have a time frame to rule.
Right.
You know.
And just like you mentioned, Nat Turner, that Birth of a Nation movie by the brother Nate, I forget his last name, that made the movie. In the same documentary I was watching earlier, it goes into showing the Ku Klux Klan version, or the first movie, Birth of a Nation, that was one of the biggest Hollywood productions. Like, it was one of the first movies that they created, but that shows you that Hollywood is a propaganda machine. It pumps out what do they call that? It pumps out propaganda.
Yeah, lies.
You know what I mean? Lies. The media
Spells,
you know what I'm
really
saying?
Look at the whole Hollywood. I think it's actually made from a tree that the witches used to cast spells.
Witches' wands.
Yep.
I believe that when they said Martin ran out naked or some shit.
Yeah, I heard. I remember that. They were saying trying to kill me. And then the leech was about to get at him. He went to perform. That's why he disappeared for a while.
It's probably about to drink his blood or something.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of those kids they come out later that they've been touched. And you know they're not lying because they're drug addicts. They look very depressed and weird.
Yeah.
Like if you see Miley Cyrus lately, she looked like somebody. She looked like she sang songs out of her ass. Like the soul slipped out of her ass.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of those kids are like that, man.
Yeah.
That goes back to what you just said, propaganda machine. That's why when they make these movies about alien invasion movies, you know what I'm saying? They got like the aliens making them look green and shit, but they really got black.
That's the spirit. Lying, what he throws up
Everything blows up.
slams. That's right. Got it.
Yeah, it says Ray Borgia picture with flying.
Nothing wrong.
And then, so they got people thinking that the UFOs is green Martians, like green heads and grays on there, was really
I
black.
remember when I was a kid, we used to watch, I think it's Mars Attacks, but it's like, it was a funny type movie.
I know what you saw. I seen
But it
that.
showed the aliens as like these little green guys with guns. It was some Hollywood bullshit. You know,
The one they kind of got it right was Marvin the Martian, because he was dark, black. You know what I'm saying? No guy.
I never met an Edomite named Marvin. That's the fake name.
Right.
Marvin Gaye.
Right.
But that goes back to that propaganda machine, because they want you to think that so you can fight against them, but really they that's your people, you know.
Yeah, you saw Ben get ready for the war, man. But he tried to, back in June.
And
that is history. It's beautiful, man. You gotta go back to when they came off the ark. You know what I'm saying? Because when they came off, Ham was really on some shit.
Right.
They started being sodomites. They started worshiping Satan. They started going off.
But wasn't that a curse that was given to Ham for seeing the father's nakedness?
He cursed Canaan. He didn't curse him or all his sons.
Yeah, it was just Ham. It was Ham's idea.
It fell specifically on Canaan.
Yeah.
But the Lord did that so that we could go and conquer Canaan.
Yeah. Praise.
the book of Genesis chapter 10 verse 17, and the Havites and the Akites and the Sinite, the Sinite, and the Avratite and the Zimmerite and the Hathonite, and afterward the families of Canaanites were spread abroad. Verse 19, the borders of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as thou comest of Gerar unto Gaza.
Gaza, but the people of Gaza now, they're so-called Arabs. Yeah. Ishmael, Imam, Asher, they're all mixed up over there. Now, of course, Jacob's over there too. But what's Trump trying to do? He's trying to turn it to the Riviera of the Middle East. That's why a lot of the food's not getting to those people, man. They have stage 5 starvation. Because that means it's kind of like irreversible at that point. Because you get to a certain point and you're eating, that shit gonna do more harm than good.
Damage is done.
You're malnourished.
Right.
You get to a certain point, your body, your organs start eating something.
That's the spirit. Watch this. This came in breaking news 1 minute ago. Watch this. Israel soon will halt or slow aid to the northern Gaza of military offenses, growing officials said.
They've been doing that, man. Cause they trying to do that because they want that land.
Deliberately. Yeah, they made a boogeyman. So instead of just all-out assault on, the Arabs over there in that specific area, they want to make it seem as it's the H terrorist group. We're combating, you know what I'm saying, You know, they attacked us first, but y'all been over there terrorizing them people.
Bombing the people. Right?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Barakatah. That's crazy. That was like a minute ago. So as we were just talking about, that was right on time.
Spirit.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? The Most High's on Amalek ass. So we say I have a war with Amalek from generation to generation. So our main job is to get on Amalek. You know? That's really why the Lord got so mad at Saul, because Amalek, as soon as we got out of Egypt, other nations, they were on some bullshit. It's like, imagine you get out of jail and people are mad. They don't even know you, but they mad. Why you mad? Because I'm free. You know, you get out, you try to pass, oh, you can't come through this way. Esau been had that get off my lawn spirit. You know? He told Moses, like, no, y'all niggas ain't coming through here.
Well, because they know the renowned name. They know about the stories of the Lord pretty much rescuing us. So they had a jealousy. They had a hatred.
That's crazy.
They hated us.
That's the spirit. When we was passing by, they want us to come through. Even to this day, when you go, even you could be working, delivering what you doing in my neighborhood. Like,
yep, you got that.
Delivering your package, motherfucker.
You don't belong here.
You know, one devil man, I wanted to beat his ass, man. I was driving, right, and I had to go to his house. There was a trooper behind me, so I turned. He tried to flag the trooper down, like I'm running from the trooper. Like, nigga, I'm bringing you your package.
Look at that shit.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I see.
Catch that.
Ooh.
I didn't catch a ring like that. Yo, that's crazy. Almost like a perfect ring.
Look at what's coming in the middle of it. Yo.
If you put another line up there, man, that's World War III. So that's the third wall.
So imagine when the chariots do come and say every eye gonna see him.
Right. Oh, it made a smiley face.
Oh.
That's right.
Damn devil.
You know?
Right.
Put a smiley face.
That's spiritual, though.
Right.
You know? Because Lord willing, we're gonna be smiling when the Lord comes back. When we see the chariots. Esau, you're not gonna be smiling.
What's that? That's the pride.
Pride.
It says, although he set his nest upon the stars, the Lord gonna bring him down.
Back in Genesis.
Book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 19. And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as thou comest to Gerar, unto Gaza, as thou goest into Sodom and Gomorrah and Admah and Zabanum, even unto Lasha. These are the sons of Ham after their families, after their tongues, in their countries, in their nations.
Right. That's why the Lord cursed them with that dumbass accent. His hand like this. They got like the worst language.
Right.
So like clicking sounds and shit.
I think in Africa that sounded like sexy or appealing.
That's why when y'all talk, he said, thou shall be talking like click sound.
That's crazy.
Go back to Nimrod. That tower, huh?
That's crazy. The Lord was displeased.
We got Susie Hoover. Verse 21, unto Shem also the father of all the children of Eber.
See, that's where we come from. We come from Shem. Specifically from Eber, then it goes to Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob. Which Esau comes from Shem too. He don't come from other nations.
And the brother of Japheth, the elder even to him, were children born.
So Japheth was the oldest, and I believe Shem was the
second,
and Ham was the youngest son. That's right.
The children of Shem, Elam,
Ashur, and Araphax, Ad the Lud, and Aram. And the children of Aram is Uz, and Hul, and Gather, and Mash, Gathamash, and Aphrax, and to beget Shelah, and Shelah beget Eber. And unto Eber were born 2 sons. Of name of one was Peleg.
Which that was spiritual, the Most High, because that was during this time. The reason why he named that son Peleg, because that was the time the Lord was going to divide man. How did he divide man? By dividing their languages. Because before that, all nations pretty much spoke the same tongue, which had to be Hebrew. You know?
For in his days was the earth divided, and his brother name was Joktan. Joktan begot Almadad, and Shelah, and Hazaramath, and Jerah, and Hadron, and Uzal, and Diklah, and Abal, and Abamil, and Shabbat, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jabal. All these were the sons of Joktan, and their dwell was from Mashah, as thou goest unto Shafar.
It's free on Saturdays.
A mount.
Free, yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you guys so much.
Yep.
Have a good day.
Yep.
Too.
And Jafar, a mount of the east. These are the sons of Shem, after their families, after their tongues, and after the lands, after their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah, after their generations, and the nations. And by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood.
Yeah, because the Lord gave this nation, these people their land, gave Ham their land, gave Japheth this land, and said, y'all be fruitful and y'all multiply. So what they do, they pass down the story of the flood, but then Ham wicked ass, keep going. I think y'all going to 11, that talks about the tower.
The book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 1. And the whole earth was one language.
See? Hebrew.
And of one speech.
Get that
Verse 10. And it came to pass as they sojourned from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there, and they said one to another, go to let us make brick and burn them thoroughly.
So as they were passing down the stories of the flood, they got an idea to build a tower. I speak as a man, but this could have been so that in case another flood does come, then they could all run to this tower, which is very foolish because the Lord could easily knock the tower down.
Right. That goes back to Esau want to make go into the heavens so he can escape the judgments.
Yeah, they show you all. What's that movie I was watching? Alien Covenant. This motherfucker destroyed the earth, put every few thousand people on the spaceship to go to another planet. He built an AI robot. Guess what the AI robot did? The AI robot is the one that made the alien creature destroy him. Like, nigga, you're not about to get on this new planet and fuck it up. So that's the Lord.
And verse 3.
What, you got that?
Yeah.
Let's get that point. Talks about it.
All right, this is the wisdom of Yahweh Shai, the son of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, right? And it says, wherefore let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us wherein we may seem to come short of some words which we have labored to interpret.
So when you have people say that we don't have to go into the blue letter Bible, or we don't have to go into the Hebrew or the Greek or the Latin, that's bullshit. Because it just said the scholars, going back to King James and his men, which I believe it took them like 11 years to translate it from the different languages.
Right.
So a lot of words they couldn't, there was some disconnects. Translate certain words into another language. It was hard for them.
best Hebrew.
He had
got like Hebrew.
He had a lot of
Greek scholars.
Those were some bad men because they knew Greek, they knew Latin, they knew English.
Yeah.
See, back then, our people were very intelligent.
Right.
I mean, the Lord gave us the power to speak Hebrew. Back then, we were speaking about 4 different languages.
Yeah.
We were speaking Hebrew, Greek, Latin.
Right.
Some of our people speaking French.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, it wasn't uncommon for, if you will, Jake to graduate high school. You know, like nowadays, you get celebrated for doing what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to graduate, motherfucker.
Most of those those big time colleges, institutions over there in Europe, they from Jake, like Cambridge,
the Ivy
Cambridge,
League.
and all that. They just saw it when they conquered, they took over that.
Exactly.
Cambridge digs up the Apocrypha and the Bible.
Yeah, they canonized.
Look at this.
Wildin', man. Nigga making a butterfly. And it says, for the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them.
Which is showing you what? That the Hebrew is the most powerful language.
Right.
You know? Get Acts 26 real quick. I believe it's Paul gives his testimony, like verse 20.
Actually, to land back on what you said, not
So
only
Acts 26.
Not only that language from before the Tower of Babel would have been Hebrew. Even when you look at babies when they born, what they say, God. That's Hebrew. That's Hebrew character. You know, it's natural.
Acts 26.
Yeah, it naturally flows off the tongue, you know? Fluent.
Start at 13. The point is 14.
The book of Acts chapter 26, verse 13. At midday, O king, I saw in the way of light from heaven above the brightness of the sun shining round about me, them which sojourn with me. Verse 14. And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me, saying in the Hebrew tongue. So in the Hebrew tongue.
So when Paul heard the voice, he heard the Hebrew tongue.
Right.
So this is Yahweh Shai.
Right.
So they got to be speaking Hebrews in the heavens.
Yeah.
Because that's where at this time Yahweh Shai was in the heavens.
You know, when you watch like a lot of sci-fi movies, like alien type movies, you know, when they got like the alien writing, it do look like Paleo Hebrew, like.
Yeah.
You know what that thought made me think of? They said talking about the man animal.
Oh, you talking about
Then it's after Earth.
Battlefield Earth?
Battlefield Earth.
Yep.
Because that type of language it almost sound Hebrew.
Hebrew, yep. So when you look at the Paleo Hebrew, they do got like a celestial, galaxy, another space.
Otherworldly.
Yeah.
Otherworldly, yeah.
Yep.
And this is a heavy scripture because we know Paul was speaking Latin and Greek because he was traveling to those lands.
Mm-hmm.
But he said when the Lord spoke to him, he spoke to me in Hebrew.
Look at the names that we have: the Alicites, the Cathasites. Those sound like dimensional. They don't like, you know what I'm saying? They sound like some little space names and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Judites, Simeonites.
Well, I think even on the cross when they inscribed his name, it was written in Greek, Hebrew, and Latin.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So for the people that when they come up and see, they can read and say, "Oh, this is
Yahweh Shai, King of the Jews." That's what they put on there.
King of the Jews. Yeah.
So those are the most dominant languages back then: Hebrew, Greek, Latin.
Right.
You said verse,
Reading good
14. The book of Acts chapter 26, verse 14. And when we were fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me, saying in the Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why persecute thou me? It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks.
So that's what the Lord was telling him, like, yo, you're going against the grain.
Exactly.
You got to pretty much protect him in the Hebrew. And that's when Paul became converted, because before that, he was persecuting the disciples. He was persecuting the church. But then when he got woken up. The Lord spoke to him directly. You know, so Paul was used on a very high level. So the writings of Paul are, you know.
Yeah, did you hear that, Sakari? Did you hear that, Genesis?
He's a Hoover now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he a Hoover. Yeah.
No, they're over there pimping women.
Crip.
Pegging.
Paganizing.
From pimping to pegging.
That's crazy.
All right. And it says,
That was it.
and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language. For in the 8th and 30th year, coming into Egypt, when Euergetes was king, and continuing there some time, I found a book of no small learning. Therefore, I thought it most necessary for me to bestow some diligence and travail to interpret it.
Right, that's the point. So it's showing you that the original tongue is Hebrew, and that's the most powerful language.
Right.
You know, and we proved that the Lord spoke Hebrew. You know, he wasn't speaking these other languages. You know, so his name can't be Jesus. That's not even a Hebrew name. Right. I think it was at 3. Like read.
And the book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 3. And they said one to another, go to let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had there for mortar.
And that's the same thing they made us do in Egypt, build the pyramid.
And let us make us a name, lest we be found scattered abroad upon the face of the earth, the whole earth.
So what God said, he said, you don't want to be scattered, huh? You scatter your ass.
And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men built. Verse 6, and the Lord said, behold, the people is one. They have all one language. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be a restraint from them.
Right, so they all had the one tongue. They was on one accord to do what? To set their nest among the stars. Pretty much a one world government, new world order. And Esau is trying to do that digitally with the mark of the beast. You know?
Which they have imagined to do. Verse 7, go to let us go down and confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech.
I wish I could see that. That had to be some crazy. Imagine they all building, and then they just start speaking different languages. You know? Like they had to be bugging out. Like some of them speaking Spanish. You know what I mean? Some of them speaking Urdu.
Right.
Like, what the hell?
You just was talking with, like, say, you know, Ira or me, and now you just be like, yo, what's wrong with my mouth? But you don't know what she's saying. You're like, you don't understand what the words is coming out of my mouth.
You all looking at each other like, what the fuck is that?
You know? Like, pass me the hammer. Like, what? Pass me the hammer. He said a whole different language.
The hell?
And then you gotta find other people that speak your language.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right. There was some comedian talk about the Chinese language sound like people drop pots and pans.
Pans get boom, boom, sound like quarter go down the sink.
You know what I'm saying?
I know that was, so when he said they let's go down, and it was in that chariot. All they did, the angels did, they used a frequency to change up the language. They just, let's change the channel.
Right.
Everybody, you know, language that just changed. You could do that when you know how you be on the, when I make beats, you could change the frequency of the sound, like, you know what I'm saying? They call it filtering. You know what I'm saying? Synthesizing, you know what I'm saying? You know, using twitching up, make the language speed up quicker.
Right.
Sort of wanting them to do anyway.
Yeah.
Go over there and be.
Yeah. Go over there and be Moab. Go over there and be Ammon.
Speak that shit.
Yeah.
Ham, you speak that language you got. So
Go have cows piss on your head and shit. Nasty shit they be doing over there, man.
They're sick. They got to be one of the sickest heathens right behind Esau.
Yeah. Imagine the smell, man. Damn. Woo.
No wonder why I was beefing with them for all.
Yeah.
The book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 5. And the Lord came down to see the cities and towers which the children of men built. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined
I wish I could
to
see
do.
that, man. That's what Esau needs to. He need to make a movie, dramatize that shit. But he probably gonna make everybody white. Make Nimrod, make the Hamites dark. You know what I'm saying? Make Shem dark. Well, everybody was really dark at this time.
They do got a movie about that. It's old. It's old.
I ain't seen it.
Yeah, it's old. They got one. It's like it came out before I was born. Like,
So he didn't make a movie. I mean, he making all these remakes and shit. He make movies that actually matter, like about the Maccabees, about the Tower of Babel. You know what I mean? Actually, stuff you want to see in the Bible.
It came out. That movie came out around the same time as Charles and Heston movie.
Ten Commandments.
Yeah, they came out around that. It's a show every Easter. You know what I'm saying? Easter time. They got it, but it's old. Go to let.
You can make it better now.
AI
and all that.
But but now it's got further away from like Bible. Like the Bible was like the entertainment of back then. Like I just mentioned that Birth of a Nation was the first film they had really brought to Hollywood level production.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff was still like the whole saying in God we trust. America at one point was more or less following somewhat of a biblical standard. So if it's not making money, because Esau's going to make movies to really pander to what society is like. This place is too wicked now. Who gonna go see it? You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers want to see Fast and Furious fucking 24. They want to see some stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? Entertainment.
Because since it's a
You know what I'm saying? People get further and further away from civility.
Yeah, a lot of people
lawless.
A lot of people becoming atheists now. Anyway.
Yeah, they ain't
there's
see that shit.
There's reports coming out that a lot of people starting to believe in God.
Yeah. Hell nah, they want to see some hell Satan shit.
So the only people that's gonna watch it is more people like us.
That's it. Yeah. Or you know, you got your wacky tacky Chris. They'll go watch some shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's all twisted. You know what I'm saying? The characters ain't even who the fuck they need to be. You know. But yeah, for us it would be good. Like a lot of the brothers be making those different AI movies, but actual. Man, that'd be dope. Who you said to play King David? Michael J. White?
Michael J. White.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Lord said, behold, the people is one. They have all one language. And this they begin to do. Now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go, to let us go down, and there confound their language, and that they may not understand one another's speech. Verse 8, so the Lord scattered them abroad from thence.
So to be scattered is a curse. So the Most High departed separated different languages, you know, Spanish, Dutch, German, English, you know, the languages that are around today, he divided them back then. They still speak those languages now, and they all come from the Hebrew. You know, like you can read some of the English and look at the Hebrew alphabet. You can see how a lot of these languages come from the Hebrew, the Greek alphabet, all of that.
Verse 9, there is the name of it called Babel.
Babel, which means what? Confusion. That's America. That's why America is called Babylon the Great, because this is that place of great confusion.
A great melting pot. Got all tongues and kindreds here.
Yeah. Where they call it baby babble.
Yep.
And the baby just be babbling. They ain't really saying shit.
Look at the building. That's kind of like a Babylonian build tower like, you know, back, you know what I'm saying? That's all they buildings was like. See, that one right there. You know what I'm saying?
That those a lot of those points. That's the channel of demonic energy.
Yeah.
You know, those obelisks.
So this, that's why when the prophet saw this place, it said, yo, that's Babylon. It looked like Babylon. Yeah. So verse 8, so the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the faces of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Verse 9, therefore is the name of it is called Babel, because the Lord did.
And that's spiritual too, because if you look at the back of the dollar bill, the pyramid is not, it's like it's undone. You know what I mean?
It's not complete. Therefore is the name of it is called Babel, because the Babel, called Babel, because the Lord book of Genesis chapter 11 verse 9, therefore is the name of it is called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the faces of all the earth. Verse 10, these are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old.
See, back then our people lived long, man. I believe Sarah lived to be like 134.
Yeah.
You know, she was 80 when she had Isaac.
Right.
And she had to still be like a beautiful woman, like, you know, for her to be 80. You think about an 80-year-old woman today, you know, she's
Losing
young.
it. Yeah.
You know?
What it was, I think Methuselah was the oldest.
Yeah, I believe it was
person in the Bible. Yeah. It's crazy.
Always lived 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So back then we were living a very long time.
Right.
You know, you think about it now, you get like 40.
Yeah.
Especially in America. If you were somewhere else, you'd probably be good because your diet is different. You know, but if you're in America, 40-year-old, that's hell. Well, getting older here is hell, man.
Right. But that was part of the curse from the garden, because our first mistake was to live forever. But the Lord put that curse on us that we would gradually start to live shorter lives.
Then with the sons of God, they started getting with the heathen woman, worshiping their gods. And Lord said, you know what? Y'all would be lucky to live to see 90. You know?
But it says, ye are gods, but you should die like men.
Yep. So once I started cutting our time down,
Arphaxad said, 2 years after the flood, Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years and begat the sons of daughters.
Can you imagine that? 500 years. So you be like 100 years old. That's like nothing.
Yeah, you like
a
toddler.
You still like 14 or something.
Yeah.
Like you 100, like nigga, I'm 610.
Yeah.
You know, you're 100 years old.
Like you're still a baby.
Still in your prime.
I'm 100 years old. How you gonna say I look like you're still young?
Well, imagine the king. You're gonna be like 875, still in your prime. Because Lord said the last enemy that's gonna be defeated is death, which we are gonna be immortals in the kingdom.
Yeah.
Because that's the Lord putting us back in our first estate. You know?
The fact that the point is you're gonna get to see your generation populate and grow.
Right.
You're gonna have so many kids and grandkids. You're gonna have grandkids still making kids. You're gonna have so many. The scripture says you're gonna be filled with stars, man. Wow. So you're gonna be on one planet. You're gonna have all your family. You're gonna have grandkids and kids that you never even met. Like, hey, what's up, Dad? Like, who was you? Like, you know what I'm saying? like, oh, word. How you doing? Grandson.
Yeah, who your daddy? Who your son?
No tribe. Lord made each tribe like its own nation.
Right.
And then Ephraim, they're fruitful, so you know Ephraim gonna go crazy.
Crazy, yo. You thought we had a lot of kids in Babylon. Wait till you get in the kingdom, bro.
Right,
how these talking, you know what I'm saying, bro?
Right. and really Jake not going off, even though it's not expedient to have multiple children here, but that's just Jake's natural state. You know, his natural state is to be fruitful fruitful to multiply.
Yeah, the Lord said that, but to do it here, it's like, man, pray that the Lord protect you, man.
Right.
It's these women.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's the man, but 9 times out of 10 it's the woman. Because she got family court on her side, she got fucking cops on her side, and she's just bugged out in the mind.
With demons. Yeah.
You know, she got Planned Parenthood on her side. You know, she get a Rev 79 back to X. Well, yeah, so that breaks down the history, man, of how we speak different languages. But then when you fast forward to the time of Acts, the Lord blessed his men with the power to speak those same languages, because the children of Israel have been scattered amongst those people that had learned the language and all of that, so they could live amongst them. You know.
Verse 4. This is Acts 2 and verse 4. And they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak with other tongues.
Yeah, so like Urdu, if you will, I believe that's the language of Elam. Thomas actually went up there. They still have a church called Church of Thomas in India to this day. That shows you, man. The scriptures ain't lying.
Right.
You know, you had the Jakes that went to Ethiopia. You know, of course, our people were in Rome speaking Latin.
Right.
You know, then you got the Book of Hebrews. Of course, our people were speaking Hebrew.
Yeah. Roman Greco speaking
Greek.
Roman and Greek. Right. And as the Spirit gave them utterance, verse 5, and there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every...
We don't have any. Did you need one? You need one?
I just want to say, I got one in my bag.
This was the king's
out of every nation under heaven. Right?
Break it down, dude. Read that again.
This is
We on YouTube too. Just search up the Israelites.
Alright.
verse 5, and there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven.
Right, because our people were scattered amongst those nations, but they would come back to keep the feast days. You know, Feast of Tabernacles, Passover, Pentecost.
Key word, it said devout means devoted.
Right.
And that's not talking about other nations. Other nations can't be devoted. They ain't devoted to the Lord. They ain't giving the law. What's it in I think it was in Apocrypha. I can't remember what scripture it is. So why? They were saying that the heathens reject the law, but some roughly paraphrasing, I'm going to butcher it, but it was basically having fathers give you who obey the law, who doesn't, the heathens won't obey it. You know what I'm saying? They got made to.
Ezra said that.
Yeah, Ezra. Yep, Ezra. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you know that's talking about Israelites that scatter among the other nations. They devout men. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Cornelius.
Exactly. That's a great point.
Yep.
That's an Israelite. It says up the Italian badge, so we think, oh, Italy, that's a white man.
No,
Nah, it's a Jake.
Jake.
A lot of our people were in high positions in the Roman military. You know, in fact, I'll keep going to Acts.
And also too, that shows you that Yahushua was keeping the high holy day because he went up to Jerusalem to celebrate Pentecost. I think at age 12, he went up to. So that was like kind of the Mecca.
That was Passover.
Yeah, the Passover. Yeah, slack. So he was keeping the high holy day. You know,
He was keeping all the laws.
Right.
He's the only one that did it perfect.
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why the Lord, you know.
Yeah.
I'll keep going, man.
Verse 6. Now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language. See, that's what you just was talking about. And they were all amazed and marveled.
Right, so that's a great miracle. Imagine we were just Most High would just send us to India right now. We start speaking their language.
Right.
That's a miracle.
Right. Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Verse 7. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, Behold, are not all these which speak Galileans?
Right, all Hebrews pretty much.
Right. Verse 8. And how hear we every man in our own tongue?
Yep. Let me bring this up. This is Nature Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers, page 52. It says, there is good reason to believe that certain Negroes and near Negroes rose to become Roman emperors. And that's where you got the 5 good emperors for Marcus Aurelius to Jake. You know, Constantine. You know, a lot of those were Israelites, man. You know, came into positions of power. Well, what? They were in Rome. There's a saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So
Don't do it.
So a lot of them begin to do what? Be homosexual. That's why Paul was cursing their ass up. You know?
Nasty.
I come from Esau, when in Rome, do as the Romans.
Right.
You know?
Nasty.
He wants you to eat pork. He wants you to be a freak off. Diddy parties.
Pretty much.
No, Diddy was having a ball back then.
Right.
So you can tell America's in that spirit of Rome, because that's what was going on in Rome. People half-ass naked, walking down the street and seeing people doing all types of, debauchery, all types of naked.
Orgies.
Orgies. Down the
But a lot of those heathen nations don't play that shit. Like Ishmael don't play all that shit.
They do freak shit too.
No, but I'm talking about over in their country. They don't allow a lot of that bullshit out in public.
They was throwing the shit out.
Yeah,
especially
Japan.
Dubai. Matter of fact, that nigga woman that went to Dubai thinking she could be loud in public.
No, they don't play that shit over there. Stealing, nigga, get your hands and shit cut off.
Yep.
These niggas is stealing Snicker bars for the 80th time. Nigga, you supposed to been locked up, motherfucker, for a long time.
A lot of them nations, they learn from Jake. Like, what's his name? Muhammad. What's it called? Ramadan? That's based off the
Day of Atonement. Right.
So he learned from our people.
Right.
He really took it to his own spin on it, and now he got Islam.
Yeah.
You know, that's why the women be fully covered. They grow their beards out. They don't eat pork.
Yeah.
That's our customs.
Oh, now that since you brought that up, the Ku Klux Klan actually had their own like Bible or Quran. They called it the Quran with a K on it. I was like, oh shit.
You know something else about them? They believe they're from Jacob too.
Yeah.
They think they Esau.
Yeah.
You know?
No, they think the dark skin is that the Mormons, but they think dark skin is the curse instead of the leprosy.
Right. Yep.
Esau redness.
Not even knowing that they're Esau.
Right. That's it.
Let me bring this up. This is page 54. Nature Knows No Color Line. It says, among Moors who rose to great power were Emperor Macrinus, which is, you watch Gladiator 2, Denzel is Emperor Macrinus, Firmus, Aemilianus, Lucius Quietus, foremost military figure of Trajan's reign, and named by Trajan as his successor, was a Moor. So was Gildo, ruler of Africa, under Emperor Valentinian. Among the niggers are Emperor Priscinius Niger, Aquilius Niger, Rutilius Niger. See, a lot of our people begin to be in great power. And Esau knows that. That's why he's not about to let Jake get so far in America, because he knows we took over the last time. Look at sports.
Yeah. Well, even in the military, because I had a youngster that I used to work with, and he went off to the military. And I saw him in the mall years ago, and he got jacked up a little bit. I was like, damn boy, you don't got big like that. I was like, the army turned you into a man, and some shit I told him. He was like, yeah, but it ain't for everybody, especially us. He was like pissed off too, but I saw him again. He kind of broke it down. He said, yeah, it was time for rank to come up. He said, knowing you should be the guy get the rank, he said he'd give it to the fucking white boys to get it. Yep. But that's the racism. But they do that deliberately because they really don't want you to have any type of military training background. especially calling shots. You know what I'm saying? They'll put a Uncle Tom Coon nigga in there. I think the one, was he under Trump or Biden? That black general that they had. They had one before.
Yeah, you talking about General he was from the Bronx too. He was
Big black dude.
There was another one too before him, but he was in the time of Bush.
Yeah.
Light skinned dude.
Oh, you talking about I know his name. I forgot his name. Colin Powell.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, they had the one Jake, but I think he was with Biden. He got a new coon in there because he was the one. Ibrahim, the one that wear the red beret, and he was talking shit about him. But the Esau don't want Jake to bear arms at all. Even when the soldiers was coming back